all of you because it is our time to discuss something about unit number 2, Lagrange's equations, Lagrange's dynamics also. So my first question is about our unit number 1. What about our assignment? Okay, questions. And I so slowly you can prepare it and you can submit it accordingly. Okay. So who will tell me what is your status of assignment? You see?
Sir, I will upload it.
Okay, very good. So that's good. Okay, because see, why I'm telling you, we have to submit as I have to put your marks for the assignment marks also. So that's why. I'm asking. So okay, Viraj, what about you? About assignment one?
સર એક બે ક્વેશ્ચન જ છે હવે તો હું તમને આજકાલમાં મોકલાવી દઈશ.
Okay, no problem. So don't worry. Let us say all of you will try. Okay, to prepare it and submit. Please do not wait. Okay. Please don't wait. As soon as you prepare, you can just submit it me. So now you can submit me scan
Hello?
copy on my WhatsApp or you can mail me
હા.
also. Okay, so let's continue our discussion. Somebody's sound is coming,
હા.
so please uh, put your mic in silent. Okay, thank you very much. Let us continue our discussion about the Lagrange's dynamics. So in this unit number 2, we already started our discussion about actually that what we discussed about the Lagrangian. Now we today discuss actually the importance of Lagrangian and applications of Lagrangian. Today we are going to talk about. But before that, two important parameters are there. One is the degree of freedom and one is constraint. So I would like to ask you again, all of you, what you understood from degree of freedom and constraint. So what is degree of freedom? Can anybody define? Two of you, please answer this question. What is degree of freedom?
The independency of any particle to move in
Okay.
the direction. It is a
Yes,
degree
very
of
good. Absolutely. So degree of freedom is the number of independent ways any particle or system can execute its motion. That is called degree of freedom. Absolutely well done. And okay, suppose Harsh, if I would like to get the types of degree of freedom, how many types of degree of freedom? Types of degree of freedom. Harsh, please.
3 sir.
Okay. What are those? You are right. Absolutely, Harsh. There are three.
એક મેગ્નિટ્યુડ પછી એક
Okay.
ઓલું લાઇનર ઓલું રોટેશનલ વાળું
Okay. Very good.
બે યાદ છે સર ત્રીજું નથી યાદ.
No problem. Actually, so there are three. Well done. Okay, Hers, very well done. Actually, there are three. We know the translation, rotational, and vibrational. The simple is translation. So it means that it will move in one particular direction. So it may have a rotational, it may have a directional also. So these are the three, okay, degree of freedom. So that's very important. Now, suppose say all of you, you may have in question in your mind, sir, why we are studying about the degree of freedom and constraint. See, first we discuss in detail about degree of freedom. Now we'll discuss in about the constraint. So it's very important. One must understand first of all how many way you can do your motion and how your motions are obstacle. Then and then you can solve any problem with the help of Lagrangian. So that's why we are discussing here. Now, what is the constraint? What do you mean by constraint? So yeah, Vitali, can you answer what do you mean by constraint? What is constraint? How you can define constraint? What do you mean by constraint? Yeah, Mitali, is it possible for you to try to answer this question? Constraint. What is the meaning of constraint? Yeah, anybody else? Okay, please. Viraj, what is constraint? Possible for you? It's possible for you, please. Lucy, are you getting my sound?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you mean by, yeah, constraint?
Uh, I don't know exactly proper definition, but I can
Okay.
do
Yeah.
it by example. If
Correct.
one
Correct.
atom is if one atom is bonded with another atom, so
Okay.
this has become a constraint for the atom.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Because one atom is bonded with other atom, then it
Yes.
cannot move very easily. Yeah. Freely. Definitely. So it's simple. Yes. Very good. Actually. So even,
સોરી સર
yeah.
મારો મ્યુટ હતું
Yeah.
મને ખબર જ નથી.
No. No. No problem. No problem. Viraj, you can also try. What is constraint?
સર કોઈ પણ એવી વસ્તુ જે આપણને એક લિમિટમાં બંધાયેલું રાખે જેમ કે સાથે હોય
Yeah.
કે
Yeah.
જોડાયેલું હોય તો.
Exactly, exactly. So, Viraj, you have given correct answer. Actually, you were telling that, okay, sir, my mic was not on, and that's why I was not able to speak properly. So that was a constraint. Constraint what? Your mic was switch off. So that's why I was not getting your sound. So I'm searching. Okay, I'm looking for you. But yes, ultimately you found the problem and you have solved it. Absolutely, Viraj. The same way, Lagrangian has done very nicely. First of all, he has found out how many degrees of freedom. When you give energy to any particle or system, how it can move. Okay, first of all, how many ways it can move and how their paths are obstacle. So it is the restriction on the motion, restriction on degree of freedom, that is called constraint. So please remember, everybody, Viraj, Mitali, Horst, Rusi, all of you, please listen only. Simple definition of constraint: the restriction to degree of freedom, which is called constraint. The restriction to degree of freedom, which is called constraint. So simple, constraint is very simple, definitely. So I can say it is just like an obstacle. Now, today we'll try to see how many types of constraint. So here, last time we discussed, actually there are three types of constraint. How we can categorize the constraint? Yeah, constraint can be categorized three ways: according to space, according to time, and according to conservative or non-conservative field. So according to space, it is actually two types: holonomic and non-holonomic. And according to time, there are two types again: scalenomic and rheonomic. And according to conservative force field, they are conservative and dissipative in nature. Okay, now this we will discuss again in detail, one by one. What is the meaning of holonomic and non-holonomic also? But remember, three things are very important or not: the space, time, and you are working in conservative or non-conservative force field. Now, before we discuss in detail, let me ask you people, okay, what do you mean by conservative force field or non-conservative force field? Or what are the examples? Any idea, Krusi? Any idea what do you mean by conservative? Yeah, any idea, please? Conservative force field.
એટલે
So, yeah,
એટલે સર મતલબ એનો ફાઇનલ ઇનિશિયલ બેઝ સેમ હોય મતલબ એનર્જી
yeah.
હોય કે ફોર્સ.
Okay. So the initial base is same. It means that, yeah, you are right. Absolutely, it is like that. Okay, you can take any path, but the amount of work done remains same, independent of path. Yes, that is called conservative force field. Now, definitely, when you take one particle to move from one point to another point, then whatever work, it is definitely some constraint force are there, some restriction forces are there. They do not allow particle to move, okay, without any loss of energy. So that's why it is called the conservative or dissipative. If it is so, then it is called conservative. If it is not so, then it is called dissipative. And we know, जैसे मैं एक आपको सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ यहाँ पे, आप करंट है वो फ्लो करेंगे कंडक्टर में से, तो क्या होगा कि आप इलेक्ट्रिक एनर्जी का यूज करके यू कैन, ओके, ग्लो योर बल्ब, यू कैन ड्राइव योर मोटर. मगर हमें पता है कुछ ना कुछ उसका इलेक्ट्रिक एनर्जी है, सम पार्ट ऑफ एनर्जी विल बी कन्वर्टेड इन हीट, मतलब डिसिपेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ हीट. तो वो क्या हुआ कन्वर्जन, because some opposing forces are there, some resistances are there, electrical resistance, and that's why there is a dissipation. So हमें पता है प्रैक्टिस में कभी ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि ये फोर्सेस अवेलेबल नहीं है. मगर ये मैकेनिक्स में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या है मालूम है आपको? To identify these forces and remove these forces or make equations for these forces which are very very important, because in Newtonian mechanics इसमें ऐड नहीं किया है. देखो आपको कोई ऐसा बोले ना कि लैग्रेंजियन और न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स का सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस क्या है, तो पहला एक डिफरेंस आप दे सकते हो. द फर्स्ट बिगेस्ट डिफरेंस इज न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स इज नॉट इंक्लूडिंग द डिसिपेटिव फोर्सेस, while Lagrangian will include everything, the conservative and dissipative force also. So you have to make equation for dissipative force also. That's very important. So that is a major difference. Okay, getting. Now today we'll discuss something about, first of all, the holonomic and non-holonomic constraint. So what is the meaning of holonomic constraint? Let us say here the constraint expressed in form of equations are called holonomic constraint. Now it is simple. Now we will take some examples. From examples, it is clear for you that what I mean by holonomic and what I mean by non-holonomic. So holonomic. Now what is the meaning of holo? Holo matlab entire. So entire matlab, if you can say some precisely, ki yes, these things I can do it, and if you can show by equation also, then it is called holonomic constraint. So if you put some constraint and you can use some mathematics equation and you can solve by some equation, then it is called holonomic. If it is not solved by some equation, then it is called non-holonomic. That is a simple definition. Now you have some question in your mind, okay, how we can understand. Let's take some example. But again, before we go for example, simple definition of holonomic is the constraint expressed in terms of equation are called holonomic, and if it is not expressed by equation, then it is called non-holonomic. Now, what is the meaning of holo? The meaning of holo matlab the entire. So whatever condition, if you describe by equation, that is called holonomic. Okay, let us take some example. So now, first of all, actually in most of this chapter, we are discussing about the only holonomic constraint. See, we are going to discuss about the holonomic constraint. We are not going to discuss more about non-holonomic constraint or other constraints also. So holonomic constraint. So what is holonomic constraint? You already taken this example. Suppose a particle is moving on a circle of radius r. So when it is moving from one point to another point, we know it makes some angle with the initial position, that you can call as a phase also. So if it can move one rotation, one complete round, it will move by 360 degree. But suppose say particle is anywhere some particular point, and if you find out the position vector r, and suppose the radius of this circle is given r also, or it is given by a, then what will happen? This type of constraint is called holonomic constraint. So here in this case, what happens here? I can call as a coordinate q1 as a theta. So if particle is here or particle is here or particle is here, I can measure only the theta angle, 1 degree of freedom, only 1 degree of freedom is enough, and I can get whole idea. So in this case, what will happen? What equation I can make? Modulus of r is equal to a. So if particle is here, I can take a position vector. Particle is here, I can take also a position vector. And if I'll find out this modulus, then I will get r is equal to a, because the radius of this circle is fixed, which is a. So I can write down r minus a is equal to 0, or modulus of r is equal to a. So this is I can explain by particular equation. So what happens with time or with space here? The radius is not changing at all. So I can say very precisely in this case that r minus a is equal to 0, and that is called holonomic constraint. So I can use some equation. I can use this equation and I can mention about the condition. That's why it is called holonomic constraint. So listen, now you have some question in your mind. Sir, where is the constraint? Constraint is particle cannot move this surface, this particular circumference. It has to move on the circle only, on the circle. So that is what the condition, constraint. That is what the condition. That is what the restriction. Okay, but we can make some equation of this constraint, and that's why it is called holonomic constraint. So this is a very simple example of holonomic constraint. Okay, if we can say one more example, what is about very simple example again, rigid body. So what is the example of about a rigid body? Here we know in rigid body there are large number of particles are available, and the distance between two particles are not going to be changed with time. That is the definition of rigid body that we know. So suppose if you take any two particle, or position vector of two particle Ri and Rj, if they are position vector of ith and jth particle, then what will happen? modulus of Ri minus Rj is equal to Cij. But whatever the constant value. So now if entire body is moving from one space to other space, it can move from here to there, or it can, if you pass some time, interval of time. So with space and time, the distance between two particle I and j is not going to be changed. It remains same. So that is called the constant. Now we know if it is remain constant, then three-dimensionally we consider their displacement vectors. Okay, xi minus xj square plus yi minus yj square plus zi minus z square, also c square ij, that also remain constant. So it will not alter with time, and we can show by some specific equation, and that's why it is called holonomic. So it is another example, okay, of holonomic constant. What is holonomic constant? Yes, there is a constant. The distance between two particles will not change. It will remain fixed, and which can be described by this equation or by this particular equation, and that's why this constant is called holonomic. Are you getting? So I can show by some specific equation. See, I am very sure. I will not tell you. It is like, in the probability. It may happen. Suppose raining may happen or raining may not happen. You are not sure. What you are doing? You are prediction. So here the prediction will not work. If you are predicting, then you are not sure. If you are sure, then you can write equation. So that's why it is called holonomic constant. So for rigid body is a best example, perfect example for the holonomic constant. So suppose in exam, this question will come, it gives some example of holonomic constant. This is the best example for holonomic constant. Okay, are you getting? Let us try to one more example of holonomic constraint. So holonomic constraint, suppose what you can do, you can take one simple pendulum. Okay, you can take simple pendulum and you can oscillate in vertical plane. Okay, by making some angle theta here. So if it is oscillating, what will happen? Suppose there are no force of constraint, then what will happen? Then it will oscillate like this also. Now we know that this force of tension is in this direction, upward direction, and suppose I will consider the length of this pendulum is L, and when it is here, I can measure the position vector with respect to P, which I call as a R. So if I take modulus of R, then I will get L. Why? Because this length of the pendulum is not going to be changed with time and space. So I can write one equation that modulus of R is equal to L, which is constant. So okay, it doesn't matter if I take one, okay, position of pendulum here, or position of pendulum here, or position of pendulum here. So anywhere I can write down the position vector R is equal to L, which is constant. So immediately you can write one equation. So the suspension of pendulum from a rigid surface, it is also a very good example of holonomic constraint. Now where is the constraint? Again, important. आप बोलेंगे सर कंस्ट्रेंट कहाँ है? कंस्ट्रेंट यहाँ पे कि इट कैन मूव ओनली इन दिस वर्टिकल प्लेन. ये वर्टिकल प्लेन में ऑसिलेट कर सकता है. क्यों? क्योंकि टेंशन ऑन स्ट्रिंग विल पुट अ कंस्ट्रेंट. ये उसने कंस्ट्रेंट डाल के रखा है कि ये जो पेंडुलम है it will move on this particular plane with this particular distance, and that is the constant. So it can change only the theta angle, but it cannot change the length because length is fixed. So इन दोनों का distance अब आप जैसे rigid body में कैसे होता है, point P and this point, the distance will not change with space and time. Similarly here, the distance between the P and this point will not change. So that is also called the holonomic constraint. So this is another example. Let us say we are taking one more example. A rigid body, the distance between two particles will not change. That also you can take. Here one more example you take by simple pendulum. That is also called holonomic constraint. Okay. Now let us take one more example. The types of constraint. So here, now we talk about the holonomic constraint. What about now non-holonomic constraint? Suppose if you write down that the modulus of R is greater than or equal to A, or R minus A is greater than or equal to 0. Now remember here, when you are writing equal or greater than 0, at that time you are not knowing that where your particle is exactly. See, in previous cases, we may knowing that, okay, particle is moving on a circle. But in this case, you are not knowing, okay, in this case, your radius is more than, okay, your position vector is more than your radius. You may out of the circle, you out of the sphere, or you are anywhere in a space. I am not knowing, I am not sure. So I cannot give, okay, perfect answer. That type of constraints are called non-holonomic constraint. Are you getting? Suppose say, let me tell you something. Gravity of Earth. So what is the value of gravity of Earth on the surface? What is the value of, okay, gravity of Earth on outside the Earth? So if you go outside the Earth, you can go anywhere in a space. So at that time, what will happen? Here, your R minus A will not remain 0. Okay, it will, R is more than the A. So at that time, you cannot tell about the what is your, where you are. Suppose मैं आपको पूछूं कि आप कहाँ पे, आपका लोकेशन कहाँ है, आप बोले सर अप्रोक्सीमेटली यहाँ एक यहाँ और यहाँ हो सकता हो, ऐसा प्लस माइनस बोलो, देन इट यू दिस कंस्ट्रेंट इज कॉल्ड होलोनोमिक. जैसे आप रेजिस्टेंस पढ़ते थे ना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में, उसको आप बोलते हैं टॉलरेंस, त्रुटि, प्लस माइनस. जैसे आप बोलते हो 10 ओम प्लस और माइनस दिस मेनी परसेंटेज, तो आप ये प्लस माइनस बोलते हो, मतलब यू आर नॉट प्रिसाइज. आप बोले ये भी हो सकता है और ये भी हो सकता है. अनसर्टेनिटी, जब अनसर्टेनिटी है ना, then it is called non-holonomic constraint. See, uncertainty will create a problem in perfect prediction. So you cannot tell very precisely, and that is called non-holonomic constraint. So here in non-holonomic constraint, all coordinates cannot vary independently. So number of degree of freedom in the system is less. Now see, independently is very important. तो यहाँ हम थोड़ा समझने ट्राई करेंगे. और सपोज ये आपको समझ में नहीं आया तो आप आपका क्वेश्चन रेज करना, कोई भी क्वेश्चन. यहाँ पे आप बराबर समझिए. मैंने पहले आपको बोला था, द प्रीवियसली आई टोल्ड यू दैट वी रिक्वायर इंडिपेंडेंट कोऑर्डिनेट्स. सो इंडिपेंडेंट मतलब व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट? व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्स and when you talk about y and when you talk about z, definitely they are independent of each other. Why? Because they are 90 degree. So there will be no effect of x on y or effect of y on z. Now, if you are moving in xy plane, then definitely if I disturb x, then my y also possible that I am going to be disturbed. Are you getting? If you moving in xy plane, so at that time your coordinates are no longer independent. That's a problem. Okay, are you getting? So always you have to construct the independent coordinates. When you are talking about independent coordinates, then and then you talk about the non-holonomic constraint. So yes, Viraj, you have some question, please. Any question, Viraj, please? But
नो सर.
okay, thank you very much. सबसे important है ना, वो mostly क्या होता है in mechanics, we are not dealing with the non-holonomic constraint because it is difficult to handle the non-holonomic constraint. So mostly we discuss about the holonomic constraint. So in this chapter, mostly we are going to discuss about the holonomic constraint only. Okay, as time will permit, I will talk about the two more, scalenomos and rheonomos constraint also. But let us talk about right now, interesting point here. When I am talking about constraint, then the question will come again in your mind. Sir, how constraint will come? Who will give us constraint? Definitely, who will give the constraint? The force of constraints. So we know forces of constraint. The forces of constraint which restrict the motion, which are called force of constraint. Say, for example, if this particle is moving, sliding, okay, due to gravity on this sphere, then what on this surface, then what will happen? As it is coming down, definitely, what will happen here? In this case, it will roll down, okay. But there is a force of friction due to this contact, okay, that is force of reaction in this direction. So it is sliding down and there is a force of reaction on this direction also. And this is called the force of constraint. So force of constraint is nothing, it is actually a force of reaction. दूसरा उसका नाम क्या है? उसको दूसरे नाम ऐसा भी हम बता सकते हैं कि force of reaction also. Suppose say in case of rigid body, the inertial force of action and reaction, okay, in any two particles are forces of constraint. So if you take rigid body and force of action and reaction, we know if you take any pair, there is according to Newton's third law of motion, there is a forces of action and reaction. So this pair, okay, is called constraint. अच्छा, एक examples मैं आपको समझाना try करूँगा. Suppose if you take one particle and bring it nearby another particle, then what happens? After some distance, you cannot move further. Why? Because then this particle will exert force of reaction. So you cannot reduce the distance between these two particles. and that reaction, that is only called the forces of constraint. मगर मैं आपको ऐसा पूछूं तो, और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात है ये, और थोड़ा हम बाद में डिटेल में बात करने वाले, कि आप मुझे बता सकते हैं ये फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन, इट इज एक्चुअली कॉल्ड फोर्स ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट, तो ये फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन क्यों आता है, किसकी वजह से आता है, और ये एक्चुअली जिसको हम फोर्स ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट बोलते हैं वो एक्चुअली ओरिजिनली व्हाट इट इज एक्चुअली, वो क्या है। तो जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं कि सपोज व्हेन यू वर्क ऑन द सरफेस, then your body weight is exerted downward due to gravitational force, then you are getting force of reaction, okay, in upward direction. ऐसा क्यों होता है, उसका आपको फंडामेंटल रीजन पता है, ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। विराज आप बता सकते हैं एक्चुअली ऐसा क्यों होता है, जब कोई भी चलते हैं तो आपका बॉडी वेट डाउनवर्ड सरफेस पे लगता है, तो आपको उतना ही फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन अपवर्ड होता है, ऐसा क्यों, ये जो फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन क्यों होता है। हाँ विराज आप राइट,
बैलेंस करने के लिए।
ओके, उसको बैलेंस करने के लिए, जैसे एक्शन आपने बताया, आपने एक्शन किया कहाँ पे, डाउनवर्ड पे, ऐसा इसके ऊपर एक्शन किया, इसने रिएक्शन किया, या एब्सोल्युटली, सो एक्शन एंड रिएक्शन आर परपेंडिकुलर। तो ऐसा क्यों हुआ कि व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग ऑन द सरफेस, व्हाट विल हैपन हियर, एक्चुअली यू आर एक्सर्टिंग सम फोर्स, ओके, जब आप फोर्स लगाएंगे तो दो पार्टिकल, वो ओके, द सरफेस इज इन कांटेक्ट ऑफ योर बॉडी एंड सरफेस, उन बीच में एक इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स होता है, इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक, ड्यू टू ओके, वी नो व्हेन सरफेसेस आर कम्स इन कांटेक्ट देन एटॉमिक फोर्सेस विल कम, ये इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक नेचर में होता है, एंड दे विल ट्राई टू रिपल ईच अदर, दे विल ट्राई टू रिपल automatically, so it will work against the gravity and it will allow us to work on surface. Otherwise what will happen, if there is no force of reaction we cannot able to move at all, हम चल नहीं सकते। जैसे आप एक काम करो, एक मैग्नेट ले लो, बराबर, एंड यू पुट वन पीस ऑफ आयरन, व्हाट विल हैपन, इट विल स्टिक विद द आयरन, इट विल स्टिक विद द मैग्नेट, यू कैन नॉट मूव इट, आपको फोर्स लगाना पड़ेगा ना। मगर क्या होगा, मान लीजिए एक नॉन मैग्नेटिक मटेरियल आप लगाएंगे आपके मैग्नेट के ऊपर, एंड देन व्हाट विल हैपन, इट विल नॉट स्टिक विद दैट मैग्नेट, इट कैन इजीली मूव। सो सिमिलर वे हियर फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन इज हेल्पिंग अस टू काउंटर बैलेंस द आवर वेट फोर्स। So that is, so actually हम force of constraint किसको बोलेंगे, it is nothing, it is one type of force of reaction, वो force of reaction भी आप बोल सकते हो। तो देखो और एग्जांपल हम लेंगे यहाँ पे, some other example of force of constraint, it is actually, see again we are taking same example, a pendulum is suspended, one pendulum is suspended in a vertical plane, then what is the force of constraint, the tension force in a string, it is actually the constraint, force of constraint, why, because it will not allow this pendulum or bob to move further, है ना, इतना ही डिस्टेंस पे वो ऑसिलेट करता रहेगा, इससे नीचे वो नहीं जा सकता, इससे ऊपर भी नहीं जा सकता। so this force of tension will make the force of constraint, will make the force of constraint. Similarly when a bead, okay, when a bead slides, so one bead is sliding, okay, on the wire, then force of reaction exerted by wire on the bead is the force of constraint. So whatever force of constraint, so if it is moving, okay, here, then this wire will try to stop its motion. So okay, if you allow for free fall, or you allow freely, then motion will stop. Why? Due to friction automatically. So we can say that this force will try to stop the motion. So interesting or not, देखो, force of constraints are very useful to control the motion, to stop the motion. If there are no force of constraint, then definitely what happens here, then you cannot stop the motion. Are you getting, Krushi, Mitali, Viraj, ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि हम,
यस सर।
हाँ कितना इम्पोर्टेंट, देखो मैं आपको ऐसा बोलूं कि सपोज आपका व्हीकल ड्राइव कर रहे हैं फुल स्पीड से, बराबर, सपोज व्हेन यू अप्लाई द ब्रेक, स्पेशली रेनी सीजन, हमें पता है व्हेन यू अप्लाई द ब्रेक यू कैन नॉट अप्लाई इजीली ब्रेक, सो यू हैव टू टेक केयर, यू हैव टू रिड्यूस योर स्पीड, अदरवाइज देयर शुड बी एक्सीडेंट। आप तीनों को मैं बताऊं, सही महीने में आपको बताऊं, ये जो अभी मानसून चल रहा है ना, तो मुझे एक एग्जांपल याद आया मेरा, सच में ऐसा हुआ था। क्या हुआ विराज, एक दिन आप लोगों को तो, आप तो बहुत बाइक स्पीड से चलाते हो, है ना, आप लोगों का बहुत स्पीड से आदत होता है, मेरे को पता नहीं आपको कैसा आदत है। विराज आप कैसे बाइक चलाते हो, धीरे और फास्ट?
नहीं सर, धीरे चलाता हूँ।
धीरे चलाते हैं, अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि मैं आपको एक बात मैं बताऊं आपका, जब मैं एक बार आ रहा था लास्ट मानसून में, यहाँ पे मोरबी रोड पे अपना जो मोरबी जो पुल है ना हमारा मोरबी रोड पे, तो हमारा बस आगे था हमारा मारवाड़ी का, और वो फुल स्पीड से जा रहा था और पीछे में अपना हेलमेट पहन के आ रहा था और धीरे धीरे बारिश हो रहा था, तो विजन बराबर क्लियर नहीं था। तो क्या हुआ कि आपको पता है हमारे ड्राइवर है वो इतनी स्पीड से जाते होते, तो बीच में एक बम्प आया तो उसने क्या किया, अपना बस एकदम सडनली स्टॉप कर दिया। नाउ यू नो द बस इज वेरी हैवी, तो उसका वेट ज्यादा होता है, तो उसने ब्रेक लगाया, उसका फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन भी ज्यादा होता है, तो बस तो स्टॉप हो गया, उसके पीछे में बिल्कुल था। अब विजिबिलिटी अच्छा नहीं था, तो मुझे हेलमेट में से पता नहीं चला कि वो बस रुक गया है। एकदम सडनली देखा तो मैंने भी ब्रेक लगाया, सो सडनली आई अप्लाई द ब्रेक, व्हाट हैपेंस, I am not getting force of reaction properly. Okay, normal reaction properly. So my bike skid हो गया, slip हो गया, and I was collide with वो दीवार था ना ब्रिज का, उसके साथ जोरों से मैं टकराया, और इतना जोरों से टकराया मगर मैं बच गया क्योंकि मैंने हेलमेट पहना था ना, इसलिए बच गया फॉर्चुनेटली। मगर ऐसा क्यों हुआ? बिकॉज फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन वाज नॉट देयर। व्हाई? फोर्स ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट वाज, मैंने तो ब्रेक लगाया मगर मेरा वेट कम है ना, वो तो आपको पता ही है मेरा वेट कितना है, और मेरे बाइक का वेट भी ज़्यादा नहीं है, और ये फ्रिक्शन बिल्कुल नहीं था। सो आई एम नॉट एबल टू गेट द फोर्स ऑफ रिएक्शन and force of constraint, and that's why I could not manage myself, and ultimately I slipped and it was a little accident. So are you getting? That's what very important. The force of constraints are reducing your degree of freedom, but they are very good. They are good in terms of to control the motion. आपका मोशन कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाएंगे वरना, तो ये फोर्स ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट्स आर रिएक्शंस आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई मीन बाय? तो विराज, आपको ये जब भी आप व्हीकल चलाते हो ना मॉनसून में, तो थोड़ा ध्यान रख के चला, मुझे मतलब डर लगता है, स्पेशली पीपल लाइक यंग पीपल लाइक यू। ओके, लेट्स डिस्कस, बिकॉज आप लोग बहुत जल्दी से चलाते हो एकदम फास्ट। सो नाउ लुक एट हियर, नाउ व्हाट इज सो आई डू एटलीस्ट यू गॉट द आइडिया force of constraint, and why this is the force of constraint, because it is due to friction, it is due to viscosity, viscous force, or any opposing forces are there. It may be like electrical resistance also in electrical wire, so that will reduce the degree of freedom. That is called the force of constraint. So in this case, the difficulty to introduce the constraint and the removal of these forces. Now interesting, मैंने आपको बोला कि जैसे न्यूटन एंड मैकेनिक्स है, उसमें इन्होंने डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम और कंस्ट्रेंट के बारे में बात ही नहीं किया। व्हाई? बिकॉज सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या है मालूम है आपको? इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फाइंड आउट देयर आर फोर्सेस ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट अनलेस एंड अंटिल इट विल कम्स इन पिक्चर। आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग? जब तक सपोज एनी पार्टिकल और सिस्टम इज मूविंग and it is unknown that how many forces are of constraints are there, suddenly it will appear, and at that time you have to take in account. Let us take one example. पहला example हम यहाँ पे लेते हैं. What are the problem? So it is very important. There are actually two difficulties to introduce the constraint. That's why Newton has not talked about the constraint more, but here we are talking about now higher mechanics. So we have to talk about the constraint also. So what will happen? We know when you apply the force on any force on ith particle. So suppose if I'm calling Fi is a total force acting on external particle I, external force acting. So I can divide this force in two parts. The force acting on this particle, external and internal force. Now we know here why we are talking about external and internal force, because see, internal forces are forces of constraint. Why? Because it will not allow to change the distance between two particles, that we know. And we know we can write according to Newton's second law of motion. What we can write? That we can write m into a, or we can also write d square I upon dt square. So we can write down here, see, the left hand part I have written this way, and this is my right hand part. Now we know the coordinates Ri connected by equations here. Now interesting here that if I talk about Ri, this Ri, or here Fij, it is connected by R1, R2, up to Rn, and it depends also on time. So here are not independent. See, these coordinates are not independent. Why? Because we know The first problem is that what happens here, I have to look at so many position vector. How many position vector? N position vector, and this position vector, I don't know they are independent or not. They may be independent, they may not be independent. So how many equations you require? You require n equations required. Listen, you require n equation to talk about all the position vector. So that is the biggest problem. So what is the first problem, first difficulty? Okay, to introduce, okay, this constraint, force of constraint, I need so many equations. I need so many equations. That's why, तो it will be very complicated. तो न्यूटन ने क्या किया? देखो न्यूटन ने क्या किया, बहुत बढ़िया काम किया. उसने काम किया, okay, F is equal to m into A. He never talked about this. He said, okay, I don't know what happens about internal force. So when you apply force, external force, entire body is moving, and there are no force of constraint. So he talk about the only motion and force and torque. No about the constraint. Constraint के बारे में कुछ बात ही नहीं किया. Because when you talk about constraint, तो फिर आपको उसका भी equation लगाना पड़ेगा ना, उसको subtract करना पड़ेगा. Then you have to tell something. So he has given simple mechanics. That's why Newtonian mechanics can be understood by everybody. But a Lagrangian cannot be understood by everybody. Why? Because you have to understood these forces of constraint also. तो ये हमें ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा. तो सबसे पहला constraint क्या आया कि you need equations for constraint also, so many equations. तो ये भी आपको solve करना पड़ेगा ना, तभी आपको पता चलेगा कि इसके अंदर constraint क्या है. Sometimes ये देखो विराज और मिताली और क्रूस्की और हर्ट्स, आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. जब आपका विराज, आपके फादर का बिजनेस भी है, तो जब आपने बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया होगा, तब तो पता नहीं होगा ना कि कितने प्रॉब्लम आएंगे. इनिशियली तो ये बाद में आपको जैसे जैसे एक्सपीरियंस आता रहता है तो आपको पता है कि ये प्रॉब्लम आएगा, फिर ये प्रॉब्लम आएगा. मगर जैसे प्रॉब्लम आएंगे ऐसे आपको इक्वेशन बनाने पड़ेंगे, ऐसे उसके सॉल्यूशन फाइंड करने पड़ेंगे. तो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि व्हेन पार्टिकल स्टार्ट मूविंग इन स्पेस, then the force of restriction will come in picture, and then you have to make equation accordingly. ये सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. So you have to make so many equation, n number of equation. You don't know how many constraint will come. ये पहला प्रॉब्लम है. दूसरा उसका प्रॉब्लम है second difficulty in introduce constraint. Second is they are among the unknown problem. Unknown problem मतलब what? The constraint forces are not known initially. So initially you are not knowing. Okay, what happens here? Suppose all of you, please listen. Very interesting example. When you come from your house, okay, regularly to our college, MU. Okay, sorry, you are not coming right now, but I am coming. So I am coming from my house to MU. Now today when I started, there was a rainy. Okay, बारिश हो रही थी. But now when I am coming regularly, I am knowing कि पूरा रास्ता कहाँ खराब है, कौन सा ब्रिज खराब है, कौन सी स्ट्रीट में कहाँ क्या है, because daily I am coming. So what happens as I am coming daily, I know that what care I have to take care. क्या क्या मुझे ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा while I am coming. कहाँ खड्डा हो सकता है, पानी भरा है तो मुझे कहाँ पे ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, ये सब मुझे अभी पता है. Why? Because I am coming daily. So these are force of constraints. I know even suddenly something happen, I may not know it. So सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या है मालूम है आपको? Initial conditions you may not know it. Why? Because see, once motion takes place, then and then the constraint will come, and at the time you will come to know, oh yes, these are the problem. And that's why देखो आपने सुना होगा कि we in business will take the experience of our father or grandfather or anybody experienced person. Why? Because from their experiences they must come to know what are the obstacles in your path and how you can remove the obstacles. So similarly here, the initially you don't know, but once you know these are the problem, then you can travel by one point to another point by looking at those forces. So this unknown forces of constraint can be obtained from solutions of problem. So what is the solution? Suppose you are coming and there is some problem. तो आप क्या करेंगे? Yes, आपका रास्ता बदलेंगे and then you can travel by other path. Okay, and you can find the solution. So but you have to travel, you have to practice then and then. So the biggest problem is that initial conditions are not known. जैसे देखो, जैसे if I allow one object for free fall, what is initial velocity? You know, 0. Okay, That is what initially you know. But suppose you will see one object is moving with some speed. So it is having initial some velocity. Or okay, and now Viraj, you are judging from your house, or Krushi, or okay, Vitali, or Harsh, you are judging by walking one object is moving, and you are judging it is moving with this speed. How you will come to know? You are not exactly knowing that what speed it is moving. तो आप approximately ऐसा बता सकते हैं. It may moving 10 meter per second, 10 kilometer per hour, or whatever, but you are not precise. So initial condition is not known. That is a second problem. If you know, then easily you can talk about. Suppose जैसे हमारे पास एक equation है, s is equal to ut plus half at square. If initial velocity is 0, then easily you can talk about, okay, half at square only, you have to take care. But if you don't know u initially, then you have to find it out. You have to solve only u. U is also unknown. So सबसे बड़ा problem ये है. So it introduces the complications in obtaining the solutions. So suppose if you don't know initial conditions, then it will have some complications. Okay. For example, a bead is moving on a wire. The force of constraint applied by wire bead not known in the beginning. Okay, जब बीड के ऊपर ये बीड है, जब वायर पे घूमेगा तो पहले तो हमें पता नहीं था ना कि फोर्स ऑफ कांस्टेंट है. Now we know. Okay, after one practice we came to know. So whenever any motion takes place, first of all, what you have to do, we have to set the initial conditions. Initial conditions are very, very important. How you will set the initial condition? By putting t is equal to 0, and then you know you are finding the constants. Okay, for constants of gravitation or constants of integration. So that we will discuss in detail. But most of the times these two conditions are there. These constraints. Okay, there are two problems. One to set the equation, and to find out the initial condition. तो एक बात याद रखना, difficulty introduced by constraint and their removal. तो सबसे बड़ा दो है difficulty क्या है? एक तो आपको काफी number of equations बनाने पड़ेंगे for the force of constraint, and secondly, you know, you have to find out the initial conditions, and that initial conditions put some complications. Suppose say if you start anything new and you know initial parameter आपको पता नहीं है, तो क्या होगा? The answer will come haphazard way. Your motion will go haphazard way. Suppose India has to launch satellite on the moon, or space vehicle on the moon. What will happen? You must know the proper trajectory. You cannot launch anything randomly and directly land on the moon. It's not possible. So you know, you have seen the mission moon, or you have seen the mission Mars. You have seen we fell by some margin. Why we fell? Because there was some mistake in calculation. So that you must know. Then and then it is possible you can remove these difficulties. Are you getting? So that this is very important. So we'll discuss again with some example. So remember these two difficulties, that you require some equations and you require